What a guan, what a guan, what a guan. How's everybody today? We made it. It's Monday. It's Monday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a magnificent Monday today. Got a very interesting show today. Very interesting show. There's this very big YouTuber, right? Over 6 million subscribers, released what I consider a somewhat controversial video. Now, it's interesting, very interesting what this person is saying in this video, right? So I thought this was a great way to go over some things we've talked about before and see what they have to say, because it's kind of shocking, to be honest, kind of shocking. So without further ado, let's get right into that video.
Longer without eating.
Now, some context here. He's talking about, being fat adapted on keto. Dr. Berg, this is Dr. Berg. He's pretty famous for that, right? Very famous for that. Very famous for that.
You're not getting so hungry anymore. Your appetite is disappearing. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you no longer have cravings to carbs, which is going to make it very easy to stick to the program if you don't have cravings. I mean, if you have cravings, I don't know how anyone can stick to any plan.
And I agree. I don't know either. I don't know. If it doesn't matter what diet you're on, what plan you're on. If you have cravings, eventually, like I said, you can only resist the food torture for so long. You will eventually give in. So I agree with him here. I definitely agree on this.
Their life's going to be miserable, and the temptation is going to throw them off. And the third factor is, I already mentioned this, energy. Your energy is not going to come up and down, up and down. It's going to be very, very stable and consistent, and you're going to have more energy. Why?
I'm going to disagree with this when he says more energy. No, I will say you will not have more energy on keto. The best athletes in the world are not doing keto, right? They're not. They're eating carbs. Think of Olympic athletes, NBA players, NFL players, soccer players, people that are making millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars a year. These people have the best nutritionists, sports science, doctors, etc. Some of these sports franchises are worth billions of dollars. That's billions of dollars. Money is not an issue for these institutions. They hire the best that can be hired, right? And these athletes, they're not doing keto. They're not doing keto. They're not getting more energy by being fat adapted. Just think about it. If that were the case, we would see people winning the gold medal going, hey man, I just run the 100-meter dash, or I ran the marathon because I was fat adapted, right? I didn't need my carbohydrates. Bodybuilders would all be keto. They'd all be fat adapted, right? Those people with the ridiculous physiques that you see, or even the ones that are just great, right? The ones that are covered the magazines, Men's Fitness or the ladies' magazines, the super hot bodies, they would all be fat adapted. Yet that's usually not the case. Usually not the case. Yes, there's the exception to the rule, but that's not usually the case.
Why? Because you're burning fat calories, and a fat calorie has more than double the amount of energy than protein or carbohydrates. So when you tap
now, this is misleading again. He's right with the math, right? The math is correct, but this is misleading again. Just think of all the people you've seen throughout your life, right? From when you're in high school, younger than high school, college, whatever. You watch TV, you watch the Olympics, you watch the World Cup, you watch the best athletes on the planet for decades. They're not fat adapted. That's not what they're doing. Nope. These people have tons of energy.
into fat, you're actually releasing more energy, and your body is more efficient. What you have to realize is your body was designed to burn.
So we're talking about efficiency, right? Who are the most efficient people on the planet? Again, I go back to athletes, right? Think about this. When you win the gold medal, or you're the best in the world at something, you're the best in the world. The world is a big place. It's a huge place, right? If you are fat adapted and you conquered everybody on the planet, whether it's powerlifting, archery, tennis, basketball, whatever, you'd see a ton of these athletes copying them. They'd all become fat adapted. That'd be the new rage, right? That's what people do in sports. They adapt. Oh, this offense worked great. Let's copy that next season. Oh, that defense was awesome. Let's copy that next season. Oh, this new training protocol is great. Let's copy that training protocol. How is he so fast? Why is she jumping so high? Let's copy these people, right?
Fat, not rely on glucose 24/7. Despite what certain people tell you about the brain needs glucose, etc., any glucose that your body needs can be easily produced by your body. It's called gluconeogenesis.
When he says any energy you need, again, it's true. Gluconeogenesis can provide energy. Walking around doing stuff. You can even work out, right? But again, this is somewhat misleading. If you're talking high intensity performance, high level performance, again, you're not running fat adapted, right? That's not what you're doing. And many of these fantastic physiques you see that are keto, ask them if they created said fantastic physique on keto. They did not. It's like the hot trainer in the Zumba class. You guys familiar? I'm sure know I always making fun of Zumba, right? That hot trainer, that hunk doing Zumba or spin class with all his muscles, and he looks so hot. Ask him if he created that body in spin class. Ask her if she created that body in Zumba. No, they did not. They did not. And neither will you. You won't either. No, you will not.
And that word gluconeogenesis means the new creation of glucose from other sources like protein, like fat, like ketones. So this glucose that your brain runs on, which is only a portion of it, by the way, doesn't have to come from consuming glucose. All right, number 4, you're going to have enhanced mental activity. In other words, you're going to be more focused. You're going to be more concentrated.
Now, there's some science showing that with keto, running on ketones, you can be more focused. Not going to disagree on that.
You're going to be more creative. You're going to be able to get more stuff.
But on this channel, we're more focused on the fitness stuff. So I'm going to fast forward a little here to this section. Only 20 seconds.
Mood-wise. All right, number 5, you're going to have more endurance when you exercise.
More endurance. So you'll be able to work out longer because you're fat adapted. Let me think about this for a second. As you realize that pattern here, a lot of this stuff does not make common sense, right? To be on the safe side, I did Google this stuff, right? But it doesn't make common sense. It doesn't pass the smell test, right? No, it doesn't. Surely doesn't. Again, marathon runners, people who do triathlons, etc., wouldn't be consuming glucose, carbohydrates during their endurance runs if being fat adapted had more energy. They'd be chowing down at avocados or something, right? Or keto bombs or what have you. No.
Your ability to generate energy and maintain a certain level of exercise is going to be enhanced.
Again, it's not passing the smell test, right? How is this possible? How is this possible? You cannot perform at a higher level burning fat than carbs. It does not work this way. Again, just think about it logically. If one sports car costs $2 million and a guy with a $20,000 car modifies and spends $10,000, which car do you think is going to perform better? The $2 million car. Why? Because the manufacturer invested a ton of money in that car, right? Again, think of athletes. If fat adapted was so fantastic, all or most of the NBA players would be doing this. What about the Olympians? They'd be doing this too. The NFL, Major League Soccer, World Soccer. Is Ronaldo fat adapted? I don't know. Maybe he is. I doubt it though. Seriously doubt this.
When you are fat adapted, if you're...
Another thing, world records were being shattered. The first marathoner to win the gold fat adapted, all the other marathon runners will become fat adapted. You best believe that.
Not fat adapted and you exercise, guess what you're going to run out of? Glucose.
You know how hard it is to run out of glucose? When's the last time you personally, you right there, were working out and you just ran out of energy? You just ran out of glucose. You're like, you know what? I just can't move. I can't walk on the treadmill. I can't jog anymore. I can't do the curls. But the girls, I can't do that. I just ran out of energy. Like somebody flipped the off switch, click, and they just couldn't do anything. Nothing whatsoever.
Really fast because we don't store a lot of glucose.
We don't store a lot of glucose. Do you know how much glucose we store? We store a ton of glucose. You can walk for hours with no problem. Hours. Right now, you can go for a small jog. Even if you're out of shape, you can walk for hours. Even if you're out of shape and you're fat, you can walk for hours. You have enough energy. You best believe if your life depended on it, if there was a tiger walking behind you, you would walk for hours. I guarantee this. You know, like a tiger with a limp, it couldn't run. It's like limping after you. Your ass would run. You'd walk for hours. Hell, maybe you'd run for hours. You have enough glucose to do a hell of a lot of stuff.
And so when certain people exercise and they hit this wall or they start to get fatigued, that's because they're running out of glucose. But if you've adapted to fat burning,
very, very difficult to run out of glucose. There's also intra-workout consumption of carbohydrates if necessary. That's what you see people doing in long distance things. That's what you see some people doing in the gym during a workout. And most of the time, these people look pretty good. They're incredibly fit. Incredibly fit. Not a little fit, incredibly fit.
You can go longer. All right. And number 6, your sleep actually will be enhanced. In fact, the need for sleep does go down.
The need for sleep goes down. So on keto, you need less sleep, not more. Less sleep. So this I did Google. So in Psychology Today, right? Dr. Bruce. Now there's this thing when you go keto, apparently you can have something called keto insomnia, right? Disruption of your sleep. No, it's temporary. It's not permanent. Don't worry, it's not permanent. It can be temporary. However, right? This big reduction in carbs intake and significant increase in fat, right? Which is what's happening when you're in the keto diet, can cause changes to the sleep pattern, right? Now, studies of people on these keto diets show mixed results. Some show eating abundant can improve sleep quality, while others show high-fat diets linked to more disruptive sleep and trouble falling asleep, especially for people who already have problems sleeping, like those with sleep apnea. Now, this is kind of contradictory because if you do keto, just like any other diet, you will lose weight. And if you have obstructive sleep apnea, losing weight will definitely help it, right? Unfortunately, if you have obstructive sleep apnea, keto can exacerbate that problem initially. Personally, if I do have sleep apnea, but being fit is not getting rid of it. If I was obese and had sleep apnea, I'd rather lose weight without keto. Maybe I'd do keto after that, right? The key thing here, though, right, is that you don't want to lose weight at the expense of a good night's sleep. Common sense tells you that that's not a good thing, but the science is pretty clear on this, right? When you deprive people of sleep, it messes everything up. We did a show on this. It messes everything up. I think it was decrease the fat, increase the muscle. Yeah, because that's what it does. It's not an accident. Professional athletes sleep a lot. See that lion out there in the wild? They're always lazing about, right? Lazing about, resting until it's time to go kill something, right? It's time to go run down Thompson's gazelle or something. The key thing is there's just not enough research yet, one way or the other, to definitively say whether it's good or not. That was pretty clear, right? Saw a couple studies on NIH. Some said, yeah, it could help, this, but it was more of you losing weight. Others said, there's definitely this issues with it, blah, 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 blah. So it is not conclusive. Not conclusive at all, right? Definitely not conclusive.
Not a lot, but you'll find that you'll need a little less sleep. All right. That's how we know we're in fat adaptation. There's a lot of different variables.
Hey, shout out to the big super chat from Igwe's daughter. Let's see what does Igwe's daughter have to say here. Fat adaptation sounds like some sort of panacea. Instead of carbs, you tap into a more abundant energy supply, body fat. Easiest way to become fat adaptive. I ain't got my whole life, coach. Summers are really here pretty much. All right. Thank you, Igwe's daughter. I really, really appreciate the super chats. I know it's your hard-earned money or your parents' hard-earned money, but either way, I appreciate it. And so far, Igwe's daughter is the sponsor of today's shows. Whoever gives the biggest super chat is the unofficial king or queen of the show. You're the sponsor for the show.
That affect your metabolism, your ability to burn fat. But what I want to know right now, and please put this in the comment section, is which one of the 15 factors do you feel that is the hardest to change? Which one of these factors do you feel that you can't do anything about? That's what I want to know. So let's go through the list. Number one.
Well, I don't really think you can change your genetics. You can affect things, but you can't change your genetics, right? That's not doable. I mean, I have eczema, psoriasis, so I got to be careful with what I eat to not have my stuff flare up, but I can't change my genetics. I would love to not have eczema or psoriasis, but I have it. Therefore, I have to adapt, adjust, but I can't just get rid of it.
Genetics. Okay, your genes. Number two, your age.
Can't quite change my age either. Depending on how I live, it will can extend my lifespan or shorten my lifespan. Like smoking, for example, shortens your lifespan. So I think this is kind of where he's getting to here.
All right, number three, your environment. Number four, your food, your diet. Number five, your hormones. Number six, your muscles, your muscle mass. Number seven, exercise. Number eight, your stress level. Number nine, your nutrition. And number 10, your sleep. 11, the timing of when you eat and not eat. 12, the drugs or medication that you are on. 13, the chemicals in the food that you eat. 14, your metabolic rate. And 15, your health reserve. How much?
Now, a lot of these things you can definitely affect or outright change, like your diet, right? But you can't just change your age. You're not 18. If you're not 18, you're not 18, right? You don't have the abilities of like when you're 18. If you're 38 or 48, hey, YouTube analytics say a lot of you guys who watch these shows, whether you're a subscriber or a newcomer, you're over the age of 40 or at least over the age of 30.
How much extra health or capacity of health you have. Now, out of all of these 15 factors, which one do you feel is the most difficult for you to control? All right, now that you put that in the comment section, that is the area that you need to focus on. And guess what? You have the ability to affect every single one of these items. And
no, you can affect them. You can definitely affect them, right? Again, clean eating with my, psoriasis or my eczema, that kind of thing, for sure. You can definitely affect them. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Whichever one you can affect is your weakness. But some people will say, well, I can't affect my genes. Well, have you ever heard about something called epigenetics, which is above your genetics? Those are all the things environmentally that you can control. These involve stress level, things that you...
So I'm going to agree with all of that, right? Let's fast forward to we're talking about the exercise part of things. So let's go back a little bit here.
Okay, more on a consistent basis. So number one, exercise.
So now he's talking about things to speed up fat burn. So let me go back a little bit more here. Just a little bit more. To get the beginning of this section. That way I'm not taking in anything out of context, right?
Control your ability to not just burn fat, but control your metabolism, your quality of life, and your level of health. So let's run on the list of things that will help you get into fat burning, okay, more on a consistent basis. So number one, exercise, okay? Now,
yes, exercise will definitely help. No problems there.
You may already know that high intensity interval training is the best exercise for fat.
No, it is not the best. No, science does not say it is the best. That's a myth. For all the people who love their HIIT, as we've discussed before, most people aren't even doing HIIT when they think they're doing HIIT. They're going in these HIIT intervals of minutes at a time. That's not HIIT. 20, 30 seconds, you should be gassed. That's right. So definitely overrated. As a matter of fact, Michael Fredrickson, sports science medical physician at Stanford Healthcare, points this out, as among many other studies and experts, right? It is not better You burn calories in a shorter period of time, but you can still burn the same amount of calories in a longer period of time. Instead of 20 minutes, 40 minutes, right? It's not better. It's not superior. And some of the HIIT people talk about the afterburn effect. There's studies on the NIH show that that's vastly overrated. It's minimal. However, there are definitely problems or potential problems doing HIIT, right? Potential. Definite risk for injury. Let's look at the study, right? 2019 Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness study documented an increase in injuries related to HIIT, particularly in men between the age of 20 and 39. Let me say that again, between 20 and 39. 20 is 1 year older than 19, teenager level. A lot of you watching this video are not close to 20 or 19. I think if you start just doing HIIT, you might pull something or twist something or worse, break something, right? Imagine you're out of shape or whatever, and you're like, I'm just going to start doing HIIT. No, I don't think so. That's not a good idea. You might want to talk to your doctor first. You might just want to talk to your doctor first, right? So I wouldn't just jump on the HIIT bandwagon, so to speak, right? Several things here, it can put stress on your soft tissues, ligaments, and joints. They talk about knee and ankle sprains were the most common. Yeah, you need to build up to that. When I was fat, I didn't start running miles at a time. You could barely run around the block. The wind blowing against me was resistance. It felt like somebody was physically pushing me back. I was that out of shape. Crazy, right? I know. What's a lot more important is strength training, whether it's lifting weights or body weight exercises. That's way more important, right? Because as we talked about before, muscle is metabolic currency, right? It's active, right? I mean, when that's in there, instead of fat, the more lean muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn throughout the day. I told you guys before how my resting metabolic rate was terrible when I was fat. Obese was like 1,100 calories. Now it's 2,100 calories. Much better. I'm trying to think of a good analogy here. It's like a car, right? If you put a bigger engine in a car, it's going to burn more fuel. Think of a truck, or no, think of an SUV, right? Compared to a little fuel efficient car. In this case, you want to burn more fuel. Right? In most cases, you want to burn less fuel, right? You want to save money. But in this case, you want to burn more because you want to burn fat. You want to look hot, right? It's not an accident that Olympic level athlete eats thousands of calories, or these big bodybuilders, they eat thousands of calories and they look fantastic because they're burning through that, right? That's what muscle helps big time. Again, HIIT is effective. It's not ineffective, not saying that. It's just that it's not the best, like he claims. It's not the best. And there's certain risks. Imagine you sprinting and go falling and hurt yourself. As a matter of fact, I don't remember this. I should have Googled this, but I know running on a treadmill is very dangerous. Every year, people literally pass away treadmill accidents, unfortunately. And several people hurt themselves seriously in treadmills. I know I've almost fell and busted up my face on a treadmill before, right? So that's a real thing. And running around fast outside sprint. When's the last time you sprinted all out? Do you remember to do that? You might hurt yourself. That concrete out there, man, that could be pretty painful. Could be pretty painful. That's all I'm going to say on that. Could be pretty painful. So I'd be careful about that.
Burning, stimulating growth hormone. And you may already know that sprint.
Well, HIIT is not going to stimulate growth hormone nowhere close to lifting weights. Lifting weights is king of that. Have you seen people that lift weights, what they look like? Yeah, they're not doing HIIT, can tell you that much.
Is one of the best high intensity interval training type exercises. But of course,
what? No, sprinting is not one of the best. It is not. For one thing, it's just terrible for helping you to maintain muscle, which, as we've discussed many times, is what you need to maintain or to build. You want to build muscles? Running around is not the best way to do this. Not the best way. You could jump on a bicycle, the treadmill, the Stairmaster, do Jacob's ladder, whatever. But running, that's not the optimal way. Sprinting, again, you could hurt yourself. That's a risk, right? And a bunch of you people watching my show are definitely not spring chickens like I'm not a spring chicken, right? I'm 48. A lot of the people watching his show are older. I don't think they should be running around sprinting.
For most people, if they have arthritis, if they're getting older, they probably shouldn't be sprinting too much.
Thankfully, he did say that. They probably shouldn't be sprinting too much.
So they would have to do some other type of exercise.
Some other type of exercise. I would not recommend if you're old or arthritis, you'd be doing swinging kettlebell swings. I wouldn't recommend you do that.
That involves the concept of high intensity, short duration. But what's more important to know is that the benefit of that is not during the exercise. In fact, during the exercise, you're stressing your body out. The benefit is when you stop, when you recover, okay? And so when I was in practice, I ran into so many people who overtrained. And
let's pause right here. So the benefit is when you stop. Yes, you do build outside the gym. There's no doubt about this, right? But anyway, I'll continue.
And they didn't realize that even for some people, if they're older, 3 times a week is overtraining. I'll give you an example.
3 times a week is overtraining. 3 times a week is overtraining. I suspect those people were under eating. I mean, if I came to you and said, hey, you know, I have a client and I think they're overtraining at 3 times a week, hopefully you'd look at me sideways.
Example, one gentleman came in and he was exercising 3 days a week and not burning any fat at all. I lowered it to 1 day a week. That's when he started to finally burn fat.
So I come to you and say, okay, I have a client, right? I do have clients. And he or she was working out 3 times a week, and I lowered it to once a week. And that's when they started learning fat. Hopefully, after watching all these shows, you'd look at me sideways and think to yourself immediately that that is probably not the reason they lost weight, right? Perhaps they started eating less food. That's probably more likely than working out less, making them lose fat. That's doesn't sound too right to me off the top of my head, right? Hopefully you'd think this. There are many things. I think he's confusing correlation and causation, right? So for example, if I say, hey, fire trucks cause fires, because every time there's a fire at a house, I see a fire truck. No, they don't cause fires. It's because of the fire. That's why the fire truck shows up, right? So I'm confusing correlation with causation. The fire truck is correlated to the fire, but it sure as hell didn't cause the fire, right? I surely doubt working or going from 3 times, just 3 times, which is not much, to 1 time to make you burn fat. I doubt that was the reason. I strongly doubt that. No.
Another lady tried to work out every day at the gym over a course of a year.
Every day is too much. You need at least 1 day break. 6 days is the max, I would say.
And I think she lost like 1, maybe 2 pounds at the very most. Okay. And all we did was help her sleep, reduce exercise.
Help her sleep. Yeah. If she's not sleeping, she won't be losing any weight. She's stressing the hell out of her body, working out every day of the week and not sleeping. I told you guys a story before. A client of mine, she wasn't losing weight. I told her about her terrible sleep. And in 1 week, she lost like 2 pounds from just fixing her sleep. Instead of the 5 or 6 hours she was sleeping, she slept like 8 hours a night, right? Sleep is incredibly powerful for losing fat or building muscle. Remember, if you cheat on sleep, her twin sister death will avenge her. That's the saying, right?
I think it was at twice a week. And that's when she started to burn fat. So what
I suspect, again, the sleep. Perhaps she also started eating less. Because think about this. Somebody's working out a bunch and suddenly they cut back and they start to lose weight. You should automatically think of other factors, not them cutting back on working out. All right. Most of the time, it's very hard to get in an overtrained state. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but it's very difficult, right? You usually have to go to a way to be overtrained. Usually it's undernourished or not getting enough sleep, right? And again, it's pretty difficult to become overtrained. Most people don't train hard enough. Most people do not train hard enough.
you might want to try is exercising less.
Yeah, this less thing is just not making sense to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's not making sense to me.
Keep the exercise intensity up and really have a good workout. But
yeah, keep it up is good. But, instead of exercising less, I would lower the intensity and exercise more. So that lady or the guy doing 3 times a week, perhaps lower the intensity and go 4 or 5 times a week, right? Build up. It's just like for any of you guys who've gone running or whatever you've done. Over time, you build up endurance, right? You start running, maybe it's half a mile, a quarter of a mile. Months later, you can run several miles, right? You should not be staying the same to have to reduce. That's just not common sense there. And there's no science I know that's supporting that either. Again, unless you're severely overtrained or severely undernourished or your sleep is terrible or what have you, right?
only do it once or twice a week.
Exercise once or twice a week. So here's the thing, I said this all the time, right? I tell you people what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I could come on here and talk about sweatbands and all sorts of mumbo jumbo nonsense, and I'd probably get more views. What I call it, spews for views. But I wouldn't sleep good at night, so I do not do that. I couldn't in good conscience tell somebody, you know what, you need to do is exercise less. How about 1 or twice a week? That will do it. That's what you'd want to hear, right? So imagine I come to you and say, you know what, one of my clients, I lowered the exercise volume from 3 to 1 time a week, and they started losing weight. Some of you be like, wow, sign me up. No, you should not want this. You should run away, run far away from me because I am bogus. I'm a bogus streamer. I am fake. You cannot trust that. That's nonsense. Nonsense. This is simply calories in and calories out. Like we always say, on this channel, we follow the laws of thermodynamics. If you don't believe me, listen to my guy, one of my favorite guys.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
Exactly.
That can make a huge difference. The results are during the recovery, but the recovery.
So we're going to stop it here, right? Lots to digest. I'm not even halfway through that video. He says a bunch of other things that actually I do agree with, but there's lots to digest here, lots to digest. So, yeah, we didn't do the normal greetings as we begin, right? So I'm going to do that. So, hey, let's see who I got in the chat so far. Igwe's daughter, obviously, she gave me a super chat. Hello. Skincare do's and don'ts. Hey, positive therapist. Hello. Who else we got? Hello, Seek. Peace as usual. Positive therapist. Hello. Who else we got? And I did drop the link so you guys who want to call in. Definitely can do that. It's pinned to the top of the chat or the comment section at any rate. Let's see. Hey, Before the Billions, welcome to the show. I was on his show, ironically, no pun intended, yesterday. Pretty good guy, Before the Billions. You should check it out. And he has obviously a super duper cool name. Before the Billions. That is pretty cool name, I got to admit. The name alone, I'm sure, gets him clicks. It's kind of unfair with his name. He probably gets free clicks from the name alone. People at least click like, what does this mean? I don't think I get clicks with Kurt D.A. Anderson Fitness. Not free clicks anyway. Right. Let's see. Hey, the weightlifting geek. Hello. Welcome to the show. First time that I can know that you're here at any rate. Shout out to the weightlifting geek. That's a pretty cool name. Let's see. Who else we got here? Scrolling down. Hey, Needs Watches. How's it going? Good evening to you as well. Hello, A Talks. Not a new person to the show. Shout out. Some people have some pretty cool names, I gotta admit. Weightlifting Geek is pretty badass name. Hello, Tony. Good evening. How are you? Let's see. What else we got? Scrolling down. Man, you guys have been busy in the comments. Wow, I'm not even reading it. I'm just scrolling. I'm just scrolling down. So I got to scroll all the way back up to the top. But let me drop the link again, just to make sure you guys have it. Because I did put it at the top of the. Actually, I should probably still have this pasted. Yes, I do. Okay, let's go with that. So you guys have that again, and it's also in the comments pinned at the top of the comment section. Actually, never mind that. Struggle streaming. So the one I just posted is the correct one. So let me actually go fix that. Oh, no, I did have it right. Oh, good. Phew. I thought for a second I'd posted the wrong one. Or I'd pinned the wrong one, right? Rather, I pinned the correct one. So I wonder why that showed up like that. That's interesting. Huh. That will have to be a mystery since I clearly pinned the right one. Yeah, go figure. All right. So you guys can call in if you would like. Yeah. That is very interesting. I wonder how that happened. It's one of the mysteries, I would say. But let me do this again just to be on the safe side, because you never know. I know StreamYard can act funny. I've never had any problems, major problems personally, but just to be on the safe side. Just to be on the safe side. So what do you guys think? Lots of, to me, controversial advice being given, to put it mildly. I was really trying to make sure I didn't take anything out of context, all right? Not trying to do the I gotcha type stuff or anything like that, right? So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Exaggeration or what? That's what I'm really curious to hear. So what I'm really curious to hear. Or was it legit? Was it legit? I've kind of given you guys my opinion, or I shouldn't say kind of, I've clearly given you my opinion. So now I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think. Okay, so see, what's the first one we should bring up? The first comment. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, skincare do's and don'ts. He is definitely attributed benefits of weight loss to partaking in the keto diet. That is definitely what he is doing. The weightlifting geek says, yes, you can't change genetics. I agree. He's trying to indirectly imply that the ketogenic diet will do all these magical, fantastical things, right? I mean, sure, if you're living beside, a place with crazy stuff, then yeah, you can definitely change things. So, hey, we got our first caller in. Hey, Needs Watches, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, man. Hear you perfectly.
Wonderful. How are you, man?
Fantastic. Yourself?
Doing well. I don't know if you saw in the chat, I've been on this bicycle for the past, I don't know, since I bought it, pretty much every day.
Yeah. How's that going?
I'm down 6 pounds right now.
Nice.
But, I don't know how much of that is, I'm just going to keep going with it.
Yes.
Keep going farther every time. I got like a little bike computer.
Okay.
Bike,
yeah.
So I can track. Yeah, I just like being able to, I like analytics. So I like being able to see where I went, how far, and then I can push to go farther each time. But to talk about your topic, I caught kind of the last bit of what the gentleman was saying about working out less and then losing more weight. I've never heard that before in my life.
Yeah, I know. It's some kind of alternative universe, right?
Yeah, if he's selling a course or something, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you go from 3 times a week to once a week, I mean, unless you're just eating substantially less the whole week.
Exactly.
I can't see. I mean, it took a while for me to really get that, okay, it's calories in, calories out is the way to lose weight. Like, that's how the body works.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you want to build muscle. That's a slightly different story. But, yeah, I mean, I can tell you that if I had rode that bike the first day and then I hadn't, I wouldn't be 6 pounds lighter. I can say that right now.
Exactly. Like I said, it just doesn't pass the common sense. He's kind of trying to argue that if you do HIIT, right, high intensity, so that's his argument. But unfortunately, the science, because he says it's clear everyone knows HIIT is better. No. It's the thing. I checked. I mean, you can find studies saying that no, it is not more. You mean say you burn X amount in 20 minutes, it may just take you 40 minutes to burn the other, but it's not superior.
Okay.
The knock-on effect, this is what he's implying with the knock-on effect. After exercise, that's been proven to be minuscule, really. Plus, you run the risk of injury. So, for example, back to the bicycle, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine if instead of riding around at your whatever pace you're doing, you were going all out.
Okay.
There's a much more greater chance now that you go crash and hurt yourself because when you've been riding a bicycle, right? Yeah. You racing around your block, some car whacks you. Mm-hmm. You got to be careful out there, right? You can't just be racing around. No. Yeah,
it's funny because it's been about 8 or 9 days now, and mm-hmm. I'm finally starting to get the 12-year-old me back where I remember how to ride the damn bike.
Yeah,
I can do one hand, no hands if I want to. I can wave at people. That first day, I'm waving at anybody. And I used to ride a bike when I was a kid all the time.
Yeah, me too.
but yeah, you're right. There's a slight incline going back up to my house.
Okay, yeah.
And the first time I hit that, dude, I was pedaling like a madman. I hadn't figured out the gears yet either. But you're right. Like even now, when I know there's a hill coming, or when I say, okay, let me go ahead and really push it.
Yeah.
I mean, but if I still keep going. I mean, if I stop there, it doesn't even feel right. To do that and go, okay, yep, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's just I've never heard. That's literally the first time I've ever heard anyone say, work out less. You're going to lose more weight.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that. Then he talks about being fat adapted, right? That you have more energy. I'm like, if that was the case, the best athletes on the planet making millions of dollars, the franchises that are worth billions would have most of their athletes fat adapted, right? So he's just throwing over a lot of it. But he has over 6 million subscribers, right? So there's a lot of people that are going to believe anything he says as the gospel.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
What does being fat adaptive mean? Forgive me, I've never heard that term.
That's a great question. I've been talking about this, assuming everybody knows this, but most people most likely don't. So it's like your body is going from being used to running on carbs to running on fat. That's keto.
Oh, keto. Yeah.
You lower the carbs and you increase the fat. But I'm glad you asked the question because this is a problem it's probably like you with watches. I don't know if you do this. You might assume somebody knows what does a bezel mean, and people are like, what does a bezel mean? And you're like, oh, what? So that's what adapted means. But he was claiming that it has more energy. I remember as a really good massage therapist I worked with in Houston, or worked on me, I should say. One of his clients was in the finals for the U.S. Olympic trials, either the decathlon or heptathlon, one of them. And he was doing like keto type stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But he was like first of all, he didn't make the team. Secondly, he was the only guy that was doing that. I mean, if it was that fantastic, more people would do this. And whenever you see people that are muscular, I always remember this years ago. A big popular guy, Ben Greenfield's Fitness. He's a huge fitness guy. Mm-hmm. And he had a picture of his brother who looked like this hunk, her six-pack looking fantastic. And people are messaging, what did he do? Blah, 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 blah. Because at the time he's talking about keto. And somebody said, did he build that body on keto? And Ben was like, no. Did not build that body on keto. He did not. Yeah, you can maintain it on keto and you can lose weight on keto. But if you're trying to transform your physique, that is going to be extremely difficult. When you hear these athletes doing these diets, they're usually already athletic and already awesome looking or awesome performing, and then they're doing something else. But what got them there was not that something else. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. I actually work around athletes. And the funny thing is, like, if anything, they practice more often when they're in a slump, right?
Yes.
So if they're losing, if they're not performing well on the court, what the coach does? Yeah. All right, we're doing 2 practices today.
Yes.
not, hey guys, take a rest. Don't worry about it. It's like, y'all need to get in shape. Stop playing. We're practicing twice. And if you don't do it, we'll do it 3 times.
Yeah. No. That is true. That is so true. Yeah, it is. It's on because when I watched the video and he got the part where exercise, I thought he was going to say more.
Right.
Because I started watching these things. You have a YouTube channel. You're supposed to watch people in your space, and he's huge. Right. So I'm watching him, and it didn't really click. I was like, wait, what? Gonna rewind, and I'm like, okay, no, this doesn't sound right. Mm-hmm. And I get what he was trying to get at, But again, Dr. Google, you just go on there to confirm what I was pretty sure was going to be the case, that, HIIT is not scientifically proven to be the best. No. And for the demographic he's targeting, it's not a bunch of teenagers, right? It's clearly older people. I've been in the chats. It's clearly older people that are calling in. They're not running around, or they should not, going from couch potato to HIIT sprinting or HIIT on the spin cycle.
Right. It's not easy. You're right.
No.
But honestly, I think it's one of the fastest ways to get somebody to stop working out is to slam them right in the HIIT. Because I tried it a couple of years ago, and I was like, this is absolutely insane.
This is what I tell people. I was like, it works, right? But the way I look at it is this. Would you rather go on the treadmill for 20 minutes at a slow pace, or 30 or 40 that you can consistently do, or a bicycle or a bike, whether you're watching TV, listening to your phone, hell, you're reading something? Or would you want to bust your ass all the time, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday through Friday? Right. I believe after a while, most people are going to quit. Most people can't handle that. They can't handle it mentally. I remember I had a neighbor, the previous place I lived, and he used to do MMA back in the day. And he was telling me about a guy he met. They fought. The guy beat him, but it was really cool. They were talking after having a beer. And this guy said, what part about training he loves is when it starts to hurt. It starts to suck. But that guy has a different kind of mindset. Most people do not like, they might embrace it, but they don't like it. But that's a more elite mentality, let's say. And I remember, was it Leonard Fournette, that running back for LSU? The guy, somebody asked him, man, Leonard, don't you get tired or something? He's like, I sweat, I don't tire. Some crazy line like that. You have nice. Some elite athletes that are just different that way.
Right.
They can just embrace the pain and discomfort. But for most mere mortals, we're not into that. At least not consistently. Because again, if you start HIIT today, are you going to be doing HIIT 6 months from now, a year, 2 years from now? If you're not, then I would say don't start HIIT. Just go on that Stairmaster or the bicycle. Do what you're doing. Something that's fun that you can do.
That was literally the reason I went to the bicycle, because I hate jogging. It's just not fun at all. I'm 6'2".
Man, I didn't really
have bad knees.
Wow.
I don't have, well, that's always sitting down, right?
Yeah.
I don't have bad knees. I didn't play sports or anything, but it's just, it's for me, it's boring. At least with the bike, it's actually fun.
Yes, it is.
Especially, you hit a nice hill once you've done all that work to get up that hill.
Yeah.
And, you kind of zoom around, do your thing, and then I can kind of go anywhere. That's the nice part. I already started mapping out, like, where I want to go tomorrow around the neighborhood.
Nice.
Places I haven't been yet, because I just, I don't drive around that way.
Yeah.
So it being fun has actually, like, helped tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah, so, that's the key thing, is the consistency. Because if it's not fun, like, weightlifting is fantastic. But for people who hate weightlifting, they got to find something else. If you want to play tennis or do body weight exercises, do that. But it has to be something you enjoy, that you don't hate. If you hate it, you're going to stop. It's only a matter of time before you stop, right? It's only a matter of time. And it's funny you talk about exploring, because when I was jogging, even when I was jogging 3 miles, the problem is I could only go 1.5 miles away from my house because I needed to get back.
That was my exact same thing. I hated it. It was like,
Whereas the bike, now you got, because I see people riding their bicycle around my neighborhood. Whiz around to the other corner, and they're just chilling.
Yeah, that's me now. And then I see like a couple other bike folks out now. It's like we're a little community. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I just, like I said, I had never heard work out less. If anything, it's always been, try to add, if you can, add another workout in.
Exactly. So when he talked about the people, the examples were just so crazy to me. He gave two. One's a gentleman, one a lady. The lady one is more believable in the sense that she was working out every day, and she was most likely overtraining or at least under eating, probably not resting enough, etc. And he cut her back, but he said he improved her sleep and she lost weight. I'm guessing it's more the sleep, and she probably started eating less, right? Or ironically, if she was starving herself, probably eating more. Now, with the guy who's doing 3 times a week, who went to 1 to lose weight, I got to think he just started eating less food. I cannot comprehend going from 3 to 1. It's like you're riding your bike 3 times a week. You went to 1 and you lost 6 pounds. I'm going to say, knees, did you cut back on the food?
Right.
Most likely, that's I mean, it's just not common sense.
Yeah, you're right. I had a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
So I hear the word overtraining thrown around a ton. And there's some people who say you can't overtrain. I've heard that a lot too.
Right.
What, in a general layman's term, when people say overtraining, like what exactly do they mean?
So it's very difficult to overtrain. It can happen. You'll start to get warning signs. It's like a car where you'll start hearing a noise. So you get all kind of warning signs for you to go do something. So maybe sleep is disrupted, right? Okay. Or you're working a lot, but you don't have any appetite. But you'll get lots of warning signs for you to change. And in most cases, when people say you can't overtrain, what they're typically trying to say is it's not overtraining, it's under eating and under resting. So if you are getting a good night's sleep and you're eating enough, it's very counterintuitive. I said it in one of these other shows where as I lost weight and build muscle, my caloric intake kept going up and up and up. And that's not abnormal. That's very common. I took that lady I helped lose 50 pounds. She was eating somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 calories when I met her. And then I got her all the way up to like 1,800, right?
Wow.
And most people are not, well, maybe you haven't seen this. When I bring up the FDA food chart and the government is always conservative, the typical adult male, female should be eating at 2,000 calories.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah,
but a lot of people, when they actually track their meals, they're not eating that. There's this a myth that people who need to lose weight are secretly eating. Are they eating thousands and thousands of calories? No, in many cases this is true, but a whole lot of people have tried dieting, crash dieting, all kind of unhealthy things. So long story short, most people are not training hard enough. By far. The magic is in that. So, for example, when I was fat, right, and I'm there working out my little weights, and I see other guys stronger, look better, and I remember distinctly at the time, sometimes I'd sit in and to me, it looks like when they got to that 8 rep, they stopped, but I felt like they could do more, if that makes any sense. But I couldn't say anything to them. Who am I, right? But I'd be grinding with my 15-pound, 10-pound dumbbell, and it would legitimately be difficult at the end. And I later learned that's where the magic is. It's in that 1 or 2 extra reps that's difficult, which forces your body to adapt. So if you keep riding your bike for 20 minutes, a year from now, you'll have made improvements, but you got to push yourself. Either you ride for 25 or you pedal a little faster or you lower that gear when you're going up a hill to make that same hill be progressively more difficult. That's why they call it progressive resistance.
Okay.
If you are lifting the same amount 6 months, a year later, right? I see this with people all the time where I ask them how much you're lifting. And when you check, they've been lifting the same thing. And it's a psychological. I'm like, have you tried the heavier dumbbell or put another plate on just a little one to see, because it's psychologically, they don't think or they don't know, or actually that's more common. They don't know. You need to keep pushing it. Each week, you need to try. So if you're using a 15-pound dumbbell, you got to 20. Oh, that's too heavy. Try 17, still too heavy. Well, go back to your 15 and do more reps or take a shorter rest or do an extra set. Something to get you from the 15-pound dumbbell to the 17 and a half, to the 20, to the 25 or the 22.5, to the 25 and so on and so forth. Great question. Most people do not overtrain. I did meet a guy who had, what's that thing called again? Rhabdomyolysis.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, so that's when you're really, really overtrained and you're about to get all kind of jacked up. You'll be like peeing blood and it's very terrible. Very terrible. And he was doing CrossFit.
Jeez. See, I was going to ask you if he was doing CrossFit. Those guys are out of their minds.
Yes, yeah. Back in the day, they don't do this anymore. They used to have posters calling Uncle Rhabdo, right? And Pukey the clown, like you would show a picture of a clown, puking. And Uncle Rhabdo would be this guy looking all beaten up and everything. And they thought it was cool. And I met this dude. He was slim, but he used to be like fantastic looking. And he just permanently ruined his body, he explained to me. He could barely work out. So you can have long lasting effects from rhabdomyolysis, right? It can really, really mess you up. But that's an extreme case. You'll get lots of warning signs. That's why I use the car analogy. You'll hear a sound and the sound will get louder and louder before something snaps.
Got it.
Right? You'll get all these signals. Your sleep is terrible. You don't have appetite. You're this, you're that. Lots of these little symptoms. But again, very difficult to do. It's practically impossible. Like I can't say that I've ever overtrained where I said, wow, I'd really need a break. I've done too much. You're supposed to have deloads over time. You can't lift heavy all the time.
Right.
Eventually, you need to give your body a break in anything. Like you can't pedal up hills every day. going balls to the wall, eventually something is gonna snap, right? Even you have to take a break.
I agree. Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. You're like my legs. You know, even today, as soon as I got on the bike, I was like, you know, those bike seats are not. They don't play.
No. Hey, did you get the bike shorts? Because I got a stationary bike. I started using it a couple of weeks ago, and I found my old bike shorts. Thank God, because my derriere was sore the first time I went on there.
Man, so I've been on Amazon looking, man, because it's I don't understand.
You're stronger than me, man, because and I still had the padded seat. You can buy the padded seats to go over the regular seat too. So I had that on the bike already from the last time I was using the bike. And I went and I was like, man, this is not enough for me.
So I got a different seat that is better than the stock seat.
Yeah, the stock seats are terrible.
But this is not. We're not there yet.
Get all that padded stuff, man. It's like having a big diaper or something. But you feel like it looks stupid, but it actually looks normal. And once you see something, you're like, oh my God. Ooh,
okay.
I feel no pain.
I'll get, because every time I look at them, I'm like, man, this don't. This just looks silly.
It looks silly, but trust me.
Okay.
Because when I did triathlons, luckily for me, you have to get them because you have a swim and then you bike and then you run. So you can't use swim trunks. Well, I mean, you could swim on a swim trunk, but then you
gotta change them, man.
On the bike. Exactly. You can't afford the time to be changing. Plus, you're in the public anyway. Right. You need something that can get wet and then jump on the bike and then run. So they have smaller padding. So it's, but the seats, you're on a racing bike, not a regular bike. So the seats are even more narrow.
Man, those racing bikes, I saw those in the store. That's a medieval torture device. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all crazy.
You can't ride those for fun because I had one. Because they put you in this position like you're pointing down.
I learned all that at the bike store. Man, they're like, okay, so, are you like, what do you, I said, man, I'm riding around the neighborhood. Yeah. He's like, okay, well, you probably don't want this incline. Like, no,
you don't.
I really don't.
Yeah. And they have to be adjusted for you, like at a professional, sizing and adjustment, all kind of stuff. But those things are badass. I have to admit, they were so light, I could lift them with just 2 fingers.
Oh, wow, really?
Carbon fiber. Oh, yeah. Huh. You can spend some serious money on those bikes. And you could tell because I had the same, probably something like what you have, where it showed my speed and wattage and all that stuff. And
I got all that. Yep.
Noticeably, I was flying because I think I'd get up to like somewhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. That's how fast I could pedal on one of those kind of bikes. So
I get that down a hill now.
Yeah, no, that was on a straight, just a pure flat.
Wow,
and this is for miles. This is not like a sprint. Right. This is maintaining it. I could get up faster than that, but because I got pretty strong legs. But this is maintaining a constant 20 mile per hour.
That's wild. That's wild. Those goals.
Like, sprint was like 10, 20, like somewhere between 10 and 20 miles. So it's a good distance.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's wild.
That's all the bike. That wasn't me.
Well, right, because I can get like up to like 15 going, just going. But I hit a hill, I can get 25.
Yeah.
But after that, that's a done deal.
You're done. Yeah.
That's
those bikes are incredible, man. It's the analogy would be like getting a sports car from a normal car. It was that dramatic. Like when I first,
I know that one. Yeah,
I pedaled once, the bike just leapt forward. I don't know how else to describe it compared to like a regular bicycle.
No, you're right. It's just like a car. Because when I got my first sports, it just wants to go.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, this is different. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you did the right thing getting a regular bike, and it's something fun, so it's sustainable. Because that's how I lost the 65 pounds. I was there doing all this research, trying to find, I tried this before, that before, I kept failing, and I stumbled onto the word triathlon. I didn't know what that was. I Googled it. I was like, this sounds interesting. And I found this place called Try on the Run, and they had a professional nutritionist and they had coaches. She was Olympic certified. So she had a bunch of certifications. And, it was a group of us. So it put me in a routine, a regimen, and it was fun. That was the key thing. It was fun. So I did triathlons for like about a year. But it was fun. You train, you go on a race, you train, you go on a race, and it was fun. So I kept doing it, and the pounds just fell off. So as long as you're doing what you're doing, man, it will be 6 pounds, then it'll be 16, and it'll be 20.
Yeah, we're going to keep getting it.
Yeah.
I got a couple guys, you and a couple other folks I kind of use on YouTube to help just keep me on. Okay. Every time I see you guys, I'm like, all right, let me
there you go.
But it's actually fun.
Yes, the more you tell people, the better. You know, the more you put it out there. If you keep it a secret, nobody will know when you stop. People won't ask you, "Hey, man, how's the bike ride going?" You know,
that's true.
You just so you're doing the right thing. Tell people.
All right, awesome, cool.
Make it public. Make it public. Make it public.
Hey, you got a special guest in your chat, man. I don't know. Yeah, the hardest working moderator in these YouTube streams. Yeah.
You see, I'm new to this stuff, so while I'm talking to you, I'm not looking at the chat, but you're actually looking at my chat. Thank you for helping me out there. I got to get better at multitasking. I'm trying to be so focused on my guests.
So that comes from years of gaming and having two monitors. Like I'm always doing just like that because long story, but yeah.
Hello, Gail. Shout out to Gail at night. I was wondering sometimes if Gail was real at first, if she's a bot.
I know she's everywhere, right?
Until she had her own YouTube channel. I was very skeptical. I'm like, oh, she's a real person. Because I was like, man, this person is on every chat. She's like everywhere. I was like, wow.
Did you say earlier you were 48?
I am.
Man, you're killing it.
Yeah, thanks.
The only 48, brother. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. No, thanks. I appreciate it. So that's why I was saying earlier, you can't change your age like he was claiming. I mean, I feel better, I'm guessing, than most 48-year-olds type guys, right?
Yeah.
You know, so from that, he's right in terms of you doing stuff to help from that person, but you can't change your age at the end of the day, right? I mean, 28, all things being equal, will kick 48's ass, right? It's only when 28 is not, what's that saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Yeah. So the typical 20-year-old, I can crush them. But the 20-year-old who's working up, I can't crush him.
Got it. Yeah. I hear you. No, I hear you. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're wrapping up 315. I can only do 315 one time. So there's the difference, right? The age is undefeated.
Yeah, that's the thing about this life, huh?
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling. Yes,
absolutely.
Several super chats as well.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, man. Just real quick, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Guys, I'm at 890 subscribers. Thank you all for.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
So we're almost there.
Almost there. Nice.
You guys know any people who are just on YouTube or like watches, man? Send them my way.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, the watch his watch channel, for you guys who don't know, it's pretty good. It's one of those things where I think I got a real life example now. I'd hear about channels where people, even if they're not into a thing, they watch the channel. It's like there was this is some huge channel for farming, and this guy said, he's in New York. He's like, I don't farm, not gonna farm, but I watch the show all the time. I think your show is like that. You don't have to be into watches to enjoy your content, so to speak. So I think that's the best kind of plug I can give. If you love watches, watch your show, and even if you don't, you are very entertaining.
Thank you.
So yeah,
highly
recommend it.
Yeah, but thank you, and man, thanks for having me on, and good night to everyone in the chat.
Thank you.
I'll be around.
All right, same to you. So let me find these super chats now. Scrolling back. So I saw Igwe's daughter already. I wish there's a way to click at the top and just go directly to the super chats, but apparently there's no way to do this. Huh. All right, scrolling down. Hey, so thank you for the super chat, skincare do's and don'ts. I'm curious to know Dr. Berg's background and credential. I'm questioning because the type of information he's providing in this video to his millions of followers is very misleading. So he's a doctor of chiropractic. I hope I'm saying that right. Basically, he's a chiropractor. He's not a medical. He's not an MD. If you look at his videos, way at the bottom, he puts it there. It's almost like a disclaimer or something. It says he's not a practicing chiropractor, but he is a chiropractor, right? No, it's definitely that he knows a bunch of stuff. There's no disputing this. But in this video, he definitely was saying some things that, I definitely don't agree with. Trying to be tactful here, right? Oh, here's another super chat. Positive therapist says, in my professional opinion, he's using his knowledge and title to lure people, and the average person is not going to know. Also, people don't second guess doctors. Yeah, I'm aware of the psychology because I'm a clinical therapist. Yeah, you're right. his title implies certainly. You see, Dr. Berg, right? It's only because I was researching, I realized he's a chiropractor. I didn't know that. I just assumed he was a MD. You know, he sounds very knowledgeable and very official, so I just assumed he was an MD, but he's not an MD, right? So let's see. Got a comment from Sika Meet is true at the Positive Therapist, and we got to watch out for those people. Yep. You know, you always got to use critical thinking. I think I told you guys the story before. No, I did, but not everybody's heard this, right? I'm at the doctor. The nurse comes in and said the doctor wants to give you some antibiotics. And I asked the doctor, I said, like, hey, the nurse rather. Hey, it's viral, right? So why would I get antibiotics? It's antibacterial. And she's like, that's what the doctor wants. And I'm like, okay, I want to talk to the doctor. So she leaves. 10 minutes later, she comes back. She said, the doctor's changed his mind. True story. True story. You know, we tend to think doctors, lawyers, these people are omnipotent. They're not omnipotent, right? They can make mistakes. And they don't know everything, right? They do not know everything. Scrolling down. Hello, Uze man. Welcome to the show. And thanks for the super chat. What should be the minimum people should work out a week? Now that varies, but generally speaking, Angelique, I would say 4 times a week, right? I gave this analogy before, and it depends what you're trying to do, but so let's say, so we've got 52 weeks in the year, right? Say, let's use you're a lady. Most ladies want to work on their lower body, legs, derriere, etc. So say you're working legs once a week, right? You don't take vacation or whatever. You do that's 52 times for the year that you're hitting your legs. If I clone you and you got your cloned sister and she's doing legs twice a week, it's 104 times she's hitting the legs. Double. At the end of the year, her legs and her derriere is going to look better than yours. All things being equal, because we've cloned you. She's a clone, right? So volume, it means a lot. Secondly, the frequency. So let's say, again, if you're doing legs once a week, you don't want the gap between the times you hit your legs to be too big, basically. So in the example with the 52 weeks and the 104, it's not that, let me put this, let me see the right way to explain this. An easy way to understand. Let's use you only as an example. Let's say you're doing 10 sets per week of legs, right? Just 10. And you did it 1 time for the week, right? It would be better if you did 5 sets on one day and 5 sets on another day in the same week. So again, you're doing the same amount of work. We have not increased or reduced like Dr. Berg, right? You're doing, say, for example, Monday, instead of doing Monday 10 sets and then the next Monday 10 sets, Monday do 5, Thursday or Friday, you do another 5. Let's say Thursday. That is going to be better for your legs. Your legs will actually change more, right? There's a lot of science behind this. You don't want to wait too long to work out the body part again, all right? So, for example, when Needs Watches was on, and I forgot to say this when I got distracted with the super chat thing, when he said he went on the bicycle and he felt some soreness, he still did the right thing by going on the bike, right? Because there's a thing called active recovery. When you're sore, the worst thing you can do is not move. That's back in the day in logic. Oh, I'm sore, let me only rest. Science is clearly showing you want to do what's called active recovery. You want to move. If your legs are sore, for those of you who've done hard legs and you know that feeling when your legs sore the next day, when you stretch it, what happens? It feels better, right? If you go on a bike and those pedals slowly, at first you go, ow, ow, ow. But after a while, you loosen up 5, 10, 15 minutes. And when you get off the bicycle, how your legs feel? Fantastic. Almost like you never worked out. They're no longer in pain. How is that? You loosened everything up, right? You loosen it. When you were a kid, if you ran around one day, you didn't go the next day. You know what? I'd ran around the day before, so I can't run around today. I got to rest. No, and it wasn't just because you were young. You constantly were active, right? I know this is a whole lot of information from that one question, but I would say 4 times a week, optimally talking 6. Again, you're trying to maximize the time, right? That's one thing you can't get back. So let's say, again, use an example of legs. Say you're hitting legs Monday, Wednesday, Friday versus just Monday. At the end of the year, man, the version of you that hit legs 3 times a week is going to kick the ass of the one who did legs once a week. And then on the other days, Tuesday, Thursday, if you're doing upper body, again, you're going to crush your clone, crush her. You're going to look dramatically different. You're going to be fitter. You're going to look better. And as long as you're feeding yourself properly, you're going to be healthier too, right? You're going to crush your clone. Very good question, by the way. D.I. Grifter. Thanks so much for the super chat as well. I want to live in the better version of the world where I can eat more, work out less, and lose fat. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a good one. I love that. Yeah. Some science fiction type stuff going on here. I mean, I played the whole thing, so I'm pretty sure I did not take it out of context. I wanted to be careful to, not be cherry picking that thing. That's why when I said the thumbnail was not clickbait, it's 100% not clickbait. 100%. I can say this with a straight face looking at the camera. Definitely not clickbait. The guy said it. No, I didn't do any fancy editing I played the video as it is, right? I don't even know how to do that personally, to be honest. So let's see what else. Hey, thank you, Gail. I think this is my second super sticker I've ever gotten. Gail just showing support for the show. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I always like to stop for the super chats. And if I ever miss a super chat, please let me know. It's kind of embarrassing, but definitely let me know. So I'm scrolling down. Hello, the realist she. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome to the show. Let's see, scrolling down. Needs watches. Thanks for the super chat. He didn't even leave a message, just showing support to the show. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you. Skincare do's and don'ts. So are chiropractors giving us weight loss advice? Yes, that would be correct. That'd be correct. Let's see, scrolling down. The realist she with a super chat. Hey. Thank you. Do whatever y'all want, but I'm a trans agent identified as a 22-year-old hottie. Reclaiming my youth. All right. Hey, age is just a number. I agree. Age is just a number. Hey, I'm 48. I don't think I should act like I'm, slowing down or anything like that. No, age really is just a number. If you take care of yourself, you can definitely do things that the younger person of you could do or couldn't do, actually. It depends. In some ways, you can be better. I showed you guys the picture of the 64-year-old. She's now 65. Carolyn A. Brent, that black female bodybuilder. I showed you the pictures where she clearly looked better. What was it, like 54 something and 60? And she clearly looked better. There's no imagination. That clearly looks better. Her legs look hotter, and presumably her ass. Her arms looked better, and her face looked prettier somehow, So yeah, sometimes taking care of yourself, you can be better than the younger version of yourself, right? So Angelique's like 6 times a week sounds a lot. What about for people who have a full-time job and other things on top of work, such as small children, family members to take care of, etc.? That's a very good point. Very good point. So like when I did my change, right, I was obese, all the problems I told you, pre-diabetic, terrible cholesterol, skin issues, pains all over the place. So it's difficult for me to do half measures. I'm an all or nothing kind of a person. So when these professional bodybuilders said 6 times is the way to go, that's what I did. My first coach, she had me on a 5 times per week program. Then the other 2 coaches had me 6 times. Now, it's all a matter, Angelique, of how quickly you want to change, right? For you specifically, you don't have dramatic changes to make, right? So if you want 3 times a week, just think of it this way. Is how quickly do you want to change, right? Within reason. 3 times a week versus 4 or 6 or 2. That's what it depends on. And these other factors that you accurately talk about, right? Depending on kids. I mean, most gyms, I believe you point out on yours, they have daycare facilities in a sense when you go there with a kid. But yeah, you're right with the logistics of everything. But something surprising, although it's not if you think about it, 100% of the cases with clients, when they say they don't have time, and I just sit down and ask them what exactly they do, and we write it out, they have a ton of time. Right? If you sit down and write it out, right, you'll find you have a ton of time. So for example, you can be watching this show while working out, right? You can do this. If you sit down and you just, it's kind of like the eating thing, right? when you got to pick your struggle. If I want ice cream cake sandwiches during cherry season, which is coming up, by the way, it's almost here. Well, not almost here, but it's late May, early June. There's no more ice cream cake sandwiches when the cherries are. I know I cannot do them both. I got to make a sacrifice. I got to pick a struggle, right? So if you know your situation, you got to decide, hey, right after work, I need to go to the gym. I want to watch the show. Maybe work in your workout that when you're doing your cardio, you can watch something on your phone. It's not optimal. Maybe you prefer to watch on TV, or you just don't watch that show. But you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice, right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to make it something. You have to make some kind of sacrifice, because Ronnie Coleman, when he won Mr. Olympia, was a full-time police officer. There's video footage of him like walking on the treadmill at midnight after doing his police shift. Mr. Olympia is the number one bodybuilder on the planet. Number one. I'm like, he's the greatest of all time. He's won the most Mr. Olympias, and he won at least 2 of them while being a damn full-time police officer. Think about that. You have people there who wake up at 5 a.m. They go bust their ass doing a workout. Then they get the kids ready together, go make food for the husband. I met a lady like this. Make food for breakfast for her kids, her husband. She done the door workout and everything. Then she's off to work herself, right? Is it easy? Nope. Extremely difficult. Extremely difficult, but it is doable. There's no doubt about it, because people do it. People do this stuff. They do this. When we interviewed the guy, Matt, the celebrity trainer, right? You remember he was talking about waking up early and then the CEO is going to train. What was he waking up at 4:30 or something, or 5 a.m., something like that? There are people there that do this stuff, right? There are people there that do this, right? So you just have to, you got to plan it out, no doubt about it. And you have to be willing to temporarily suffer to build that habit. It's going to suck waking up early at first. It's definitely going to suck, but it can be done. It can be done. Or you just need to get also more efficient, right? Find ways to save time. For example, meal prepping. If you look at the time you spend making meals throughout the day, because I used to do this. I'd be making meals, then switch to meal prepping on the weekend. And I was cooking and packaging each thing, and then that took all damn day. Then I switched down to just cooking a bunch of stuff on the weekends and putting it in big ass containers. Then when I'm ready to eat, I weigh it out. So this is all pre-COVID. I'd load up my cooler bag with food in the morning and go to work and leave some of that stuff in the fridge at work. Most offices have a fridge, right? Most situations. And even if you don't, you can still use a cooler bag with the cooler packs. Very affordable. You put your food in there, you carry it to work, you put stuff in the microwave, you heat it up. Most places have a microwave, right? So when you want it, where there's a will, there's a way. When you want to make this happen, you will make it happen. But you just have to sit on and plan it out, right? Just look for ways to save little bit of time. 50 minutes here, 20 minutes there, an hour. It can be done, but it's going to take some effort. It's not easy. There's no doubt about that. Yes, I agree with this. We got a super chat code so you can have a surplus of cherries for cherry season. I agree with this 100%. Cherries aren't cheap, man. I've had people everywhere I've lived ask me, like a roll up there, the trolley, they'll be like, you know how much those cost? I'm like, yeah, I know. One lady, one late night at Kroger, I remember her she asked me if I was a bartender. I was like, why? She's like, because I see near you come in and get a trolley full of grapes or cherries. So I figure you're like a bartender. So you gotta make drinks. I'm like, no, I'm not a bartender. Or people like, do you make cakes with this stuff? What are you gonna do with them? I'm just gonna eat them. Just eat them. I just devour them. Devour them. Devour them. Let's see. I see. Sorry to bust some buzz, but cherries are a lot for me. Sorry to coach. That's okay. Hey, I don't mind when your friend Angelique, don't like cherries. You're not going to try to eat my cherries. and I'm being 100% honest here. I have no problem with somebody not loving cherries. They're not going to try to eat my cherries. No joke about that. I don't play around with cherries. I do not play around with cherries. The positive therapist says, yes, people do typically have some level of help. Meal prepping helps us, like walking with the kid in the stroller, leaving them in the nursery at the gym. Again, hats off to you. Yeah, it's little things. This is true, because It's hard for working moms. It's hard to work, take care of the kids and your husband. Yeah, it's definitely hard. There's no doubt about it. Oh, yeah. So there you go. I mean, you're doing what I consider the minimum, right? The 4 times a week. So you're doing pretty good there. You're doing pretty good with the 4 times. Yeah, there it sounds like you're kind of making some things efficient with the swim lesson thing. So, for example, while your daughter is doing swim lesson, you can walk, right? You're watching her in the pool, you can walk, get steps in that way. That's cardio, right? You don't have to sweat for cardio. People think, I got to be sweating. I know we talked about this the other day. I think it was yourself and Seek. Oh, and I sweat, I feel great. Yay. Just think of all those people in Europe and Asia that walk around and look slim. They're not going to any gym. They're not doing any cardio. Well, not officially, but they walk a ton. They leave their house or apartment. They walk to the bus station or the train station. They stand, get on a train or a bus, go somewhere, go somewhere else, connect. And they log thousands, tens of thousands of steps, right? And they do this day after day, week after week, year after year. And they're slim as a result, right? That's not an accident. That is not an accident. Okay, too young to be in the water. Okay. Well, if you're in the water, that's still exercise, right? You're active. You remember, we showed this before. I mentioned this. Like my mom, 5'6", 130 when she had me, she was not going to any gym. She was active. Most of us, our grandparents were slim and they were just active. They were not going to no gym. They were not doing cardio. They just moved around. The men and the women, they just moved around. Right? So you in the pool, that's exercise. You're moving around. You're standing there. You're holding another human. You're moving around. You're doing stuff. You're not sitting on your ass. So that's exercise. That is definitely exercise. So I think I got all the super chats. Hey, Tamika, I just saw your name. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. This is probably the most names I've had in the chat, actually. So I feel like I'm probably going to miss somebody. I got to get better on the dual looking and paying attention to people like Needs. He has this gaming background, so I guess he's also used to, when I used to play role-playing games, I got to remind myself, you have to keep track of the chat and when you're doing some kind of action. Yeah. So I used to be able to do that too. So I got to get back to that. I got to get back to that. So let's see. Now he's reaching with the less sleep needed on the keto argument. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there was some science I found about potential less sleep, but I feel like it's kind of misleading to talk about if you go keto, you need less sleep, right? Most of us need more sleep, not less sleep. And the less sleep might be due to sleep disruptions. The science is not clear one way or the other, but for sure we know you can have sleep disruptions when you first go on keto. There's no doubt about that, right? Yeah. The positive therapist says nootropics, cognitive enhancers, drugs that are used in an attempt to improve memory, increase mental alertness and concentration. Ketosis may improve symptoms by reducing oxidative stress in the brain. This is true. That's why I mentioned when you talked about the better focus, I agreed with that. There's definitely stuff showing keto can help with that. So again, keto is not all bad. That's not what I'm saying for sure. Let's see. Yep, this is correct. Gluconeogenesis, your body will produce and provide your brain with all the glucose it needs. This is true. Your brain can't run on ketones alone. Yeah. So, I mean, what they're saying here is, from the protein, the gluconeogenesis, you don't need a ton of carbs. That's his argument, which is accurate. You do not. But if you're talking about performing, nothing beats carbs. Nothing beats carbs. Because a lot of people don't know this, but so for example, if you have a high protein diet, right, but you don't have enough carbs and fat, it's going to limit your body transformation. It's not just protein that makes bodybuilders look impressive, or men's physique, or ladies' physique, or bikini competitors. They eat enough carbs, right? They actually eat a lot. I think I've told you this before. My last coach, he had a lady. She was like 5'1", 5'2", 130. She was eating like 3,500 calories a day. The bulk of that is carbs. She looked great. You obviously can tell by her height, right? I mean, height and weight. No, she was taller than that, right? Probably 5'6", something like. Anyway, she looked pretty good. Trust me on this. She competed, right? And she was eating a ton of food, and it's mostly carbs, right? Mostly carbs. Let's see here. Hey, Seek, you're getting more active. This is good. I started jumping rope to start getting back in shape. Now I'm lifting weights, walking and doing type. Hey! Nice, nice, nice. And hopefully you're doing your cardio after you lift weights. Seek. Remember, we agreed on this. No cardio before weightlifting. Cardio after weightlifting, right? Congrats for doing that. Yeah, you just got to move, man. You just got to move. And it sounds like what you're doing is fun for you. That is good. Yeah, skipping rope is no joke, right? Those boxers that are skipping rope, there's a reason they're all pretty lean. They're always lean, right? That thing is exhausting, even just to get the coordination that hit yourself. But if you can jump rope consistently, yeah, you will get a hell of a workout. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Let's see. Want to look, blah, 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 blah. Needs watches. Yep, can't stand treadmills. Yeah, you got to find what works for you, man. You got to find what works for you. I can do treadmills. I can do the Stairmaster. I'm on a Stairmaster kick recently. I mean, I know the science, there's good science behind it being super effective because stairs are a relatively new invention for humans. So that's why when you're on a Stairmaster, you can be drenched in sweat in a short order. You know, you don't feel like you're doing much. Yeah. Hashtag team treadmills. Yep, I'm on that team as well. Igwe's daughter says, at needs watch it. Treadmills are better than the damn Stairmaster. My program has been that and I die every session. Yeah, the Stairmaster, you know, I tell people just don't kill yourself on the Stairmaster. Just go on the easy level. Don't let this be an ego thing. When I first started, I remember going, oh yeah, level 2 or whatever, and back to level 0, level 1, the first level. Now I typically am level 2 or level 3, but even then my heart rate gets up to like 120 something, 130 something. That's it. I'm not trying to kill myself on there. I want to be able to on there and not kill myself, because then I'm just not going to do it if I kill myself personally. And again, I've told you guys before, just look carefully in the gym at some of these fantastic physiques. You'll notice they're not killing themselves on the cardio. They're doing cardio after they lift weights, but they're not drenched in sweat. They're not dying on there. The people who tend to be dying on the Stairmaster, busting their ass in the elliptical or treadmill, they usually, not always, usually, they don't have the most impressive physiques. Think about this, right? There's a bunch of people over here, there's my left hand over here, that are doing regular chilling out cardio and lifting weights. They have a bunch of people over here are crushing themselves on the elliptical, right? All this other stuff. And if you saw them, I mean, you see them rather, they don't look, oh my God, look at that guy, or oh my God, look at that lady. She looks incredible. That's not what you're thinking, right? I should tell you something. Man. You know, the information is there. Just look. You just got to look. It's right there. The weightlifting geek. I powerlift and do strongman. HIIT is what I do when I walk out the door at the gym. Nice. That's a good one. That is a good one. I like that. Skincare do's and don'ts says, I'm a treadmill and Stairmaster type of girl. Okay. Igwe's daughter says, I'm trying to be like you when I finally grow up. Yeah. Yeah. And oh yeah, I'm not sprinting anywhere. Yeah, we talked about that. Yes. Then this is for real. Sika meters. I'm not sprinting either. It's too easy for me to sprain my ankle. Hashtag weak ankles. Yeah, and it's funny in grad programs when people go to grad school, you know, they're in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, what have you. All of a sudden, people are like doing some intramural type sports or whatever. And that's when you see a whole lot of injuries, ACLs, ankles, this, that. Because, yeah, you're not 16 or 18 anymore. You are not. If you're already in shape, then sure, go ahead. But no, not if that's not your situation, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh man, I ain't never lost not 1 pound exercising 1 time a week. Shout out to that. Me neither. Me neither. That's never happened to me. Yep, this man is funny with his list. Yeah. That is funny. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, so you just found the channel in last week or so. Nice. I'm glad you joined. Hopefully you can call in, share some of those powerlifting stories. You know, I love learning new things. I love learning new things. And I dropped the chat. Let me drop the link again for anybody else who wants to call in. Let's see, going down, going down. I forgot my kombucha drink. Keep smacking my lips. Tamika, no jokes yet. Oh, finally got up to Tamika. Okay, here you go. Oh, nope. Tamika has no funny jokes today. Not so far. I thought I saw a bunch of Tamika comments. That means she might have said something, but no, she did not. Negative. Scrolling down. Yeah, this is true too. Oh, I love running even more so outside opposed to on the treadmill. Yeah. When I do the treadmill, I walk on the treadmill. I don't run on the treadmill. I prefer running outside. I like seeing stuff happening, going around. And if you're people watching, I find it easier to people watch walking on the treadmill versus running on the treadmill. Yeah. That's one good thing about the gym. You know, you can just stand there and people watch or pedal or what have you. So skincare do's and don'ts says, when I started back on my fitness journey, I started dancing. It was fun and the music got me pumped. This is true. I think Zumba is like going to say Planet Fitness, right? It's a good way to get started. It's safe environment. It's fun, what have you. And if you so like, you can then up the intensity, right? Up the intensity. Let's see. Give me a treadmill. No making knees. So give me a treadmill, run over and outside run every day, the way these knees are set up. Okay. Okay. So Positive Therapist says, I ran track in school, but when I got to college, I focused on dance. I started ballet at 2. Okay. Yeah, the dancing stuff is no joke. So skincare tourism, I have mega knees and I still hate doing my cardio outside. Okay. I see. This is a good point. So many people attribute weight loss with everything except the things that actually work. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about calories in and calories. I mean, that is number one. That is number one, right? If you're trying to transform yourself, that is number one. There is no getting around that. It's all about that, right? It's all about that. Calories in, calories out. The easiest and optimal thing is to just cut some of the food and exercise. It's less painful that way versus you trying to cut all the calories. And if you cut too much, then what are you going to do when you get stuck, right? So it's about the law of thermodynamics. On this channel, we believe in the laws of thermodynamics.
This house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
I love this. You know, I didn't even know this thing existed, but when the other show I said something with thermodynamics, I was like, thermodynamics meme, and I found this today. I was like, I'm going to play this all the time now. I love this.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
I love that. I'm going to play it constantly now. You guys are going to get sick and tired of this thing. Guaranteed. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, progressive overload. Yes. So many people don't understand this. If you're there with your 5-pound dumbbells week after week and you never increase them, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Like I've said many times, men typically overlift, lift too heavy, and women lift too light, right? The guy is there with puny arms curling 30-pound dumbbells. When I'm in my gym and I see IFBB Pro Kai Green curling 30-pound dumbbells, the dude's arms are as big as my head. One of them is doing something wrong, and I'm guaranteed it's not dude over here with puny little arms. Kai Green is over there with the 30-pound dumbbells with arms as big as my head. Dude is humongous. Most dudes lift too heavy. On the flip side, you're curling your 5-pound dumbbells, or you're doing your lunges, and you keep doing lunges with no weight. Don't be surprised when that lower body's not changing, ladies. You know, you got to up the intensity, right? You did it without any weights. Go hold some dumbbells. Hold heavier dumbbells or put a bar on something, right? You have to progressive. Yeah, it's all about progressive overload. You have to progressive overload. If you do not progressively overall, you will stagnate. You're trying to force the body to change, right? To build muscle, burn fat. You're trying to force it. That's why you run more or pedal harder or run faster. It's all about progressive overload. There's no getting around this. There's not living in the bizarro world where you can work out less and everything is magnificent, right? It doesn't work that way. Does not work that way. Yep. Skincare do's and way. That's why I don't like the bike. That seat is uncomfortable. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, you got to get the bike shorts, right? Where they have the big padding in there, like a diaper type padding. They look kind of stupid, but when you actually put them on, they don't look stupid. Just think of when you've actually seen people wear them, they don't look stupid. They look stupid looking at them, and you're like, oh, that'd be weird wearing it. But your derriere will be so comfortable on that bike. Oh my goodness. You just sit there and you're like pedaling and you're like, nothing. Also, for chaffing, when we did triathlons, there was stuff you could buy. I think it was called butt paste or something. But you can just use any kind of oil, like coconut oil, put in your private part to avoid chaffing, because what it is skin rubbing, right? So unfortunately, guys suffer from these problems more than ladies. It's one of those things. It's weird. You'll notice needs watches that a lot of ladies jump on the bike and pedal with no problem. So anatomically, they got less issues than us, man. They do. Good night at Diagrapher. Let me know when you find the universe. Yeah, that super chat, I gotta bring it up. That stuff was hilarious. I love this super chat. I want to live in the better version of the world where I can eat more, work out less, and lose fat. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some meme thing with that. Yeah. I got to do something with this quote. Thankfully, this thing is recorded, so I can always find this again. But yeah, that super chat that's the best super chat I've ever gotten in terms of the verbiage. That's my favorite super chat of all time now. That was hilarious. And based on the chat, lots of other people loved it as well. Yeah. Positive Therapist says there are a ton of people in my neighborhood who ride their bikes in groups on the weekends practicing for their triathlons. Yeah, if you do street riding, I highly recommend getting in some kind of a group, club or whatever. A, you're more likely to do it, and B, safety reasons. You can get these IDs. I had one. I forget what's called, road ID, I think. Yeah. In the unfortunate case, some car guy hits you or whacks you. The braces there with your blood type, etc. Say you're unconscious, your name and all this other kind of good stuff. But safety numbers, kind of like a school of fish, right? When people are in a group riding a bike, far less likely to be hit by a car. Just a regular bicycle, you may get whacked by a car. And of course, if you are on the road, you're still supposed to be going against the traffic. It's counterintuitive. It's kind of scary almost, but if the car is going this way and you're going that way, you can't see the car coming. And if they don't see you and they're going to whack you, you wouldn't know. Neither would they. But if you're going along the road and you're on the bicycle side going the opposite direction, you see them and they see you. But you're not in the road. You're on the bike section, right? So if they're swerving the wrong way, you at least have a chance to avoid them. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, I know. But when they did triathlons, they always had us riding on the opposite side. You want to face the traffic so you can see them and hopefully they can see you. They're more from a perception point of view. Think about it. You're driving a car. In the flow of traffic, other cars are ahead of you. But if something is coming towards you, you're more likely to see it, that being the person on the bicycle. If you're on the bicycle, you want them to see you, right? That's the logic. That is the logic. Let's see what else we got going on here. And I'm always forgetting to say this. Hit the like button because likes are free. They don't cost you anything. You don't have to super chat me for the likes. Just hit the like button. So at Gale at Night, you're like Tom Joyner, who was called the hardest working man in Raiders. So you're hardest working woman on YouTube. Yep, that is true. That is true. That is true. And again, congrats on Needs Watch. He's almost hit 1,000, man. So hopefully you guys can go check out his channel. Like I said, even if you're not into watches, I find him very entertaining. I mean, granted, I'm into watches. I like watches. Although I consider this a fitness device, not a watch, which is why I wear a watch on my other arm. I don't think it's crazy. I don't care what you guys want to say. I am my own person. I do my own thing. Let's see what else we got going on here. Sika Metis. Dr. Berg needs to stop talking about fitness. That's not his expertise. Yeah, in some ways, I agree with you. D.I. Grifter says antibiotics are overprescribed. It's a serious issue for reals. Yep, that is true. That is true. I'll always remember that day, man, where the nurse is like, that's what the doctor wanted. And I was like, well, I want to talk to the doctor. And she comes back, the doctor's changed his mind. Yeah, you can't forget the pharmacist who came on one of these shows, and it was when we did the Wegovy weight loss drug, and she was speaking about that, where she sees so many mistakes, man, because people just assume these people can be omnipotent. They are not. They can make mistakes. They prescribe drug A and it's counteract with drug B, and it could be a big problem if the pharmacist never caught it. Yeah, it's just honest mistakes. So, yeah, let's see. Going down. Angelique, seriously, I wish I could lose weight with like Thanos snapping into a universe. Yeah, or just have the one ring of power, like the Lord of the Rings. There you go. Tamika Funderburg agrees with Angelique. Good point. And working women with children don't have time to work out 6 days a week. Well, most people don't, to be fair. Like I said, 4 is a good number. You can easily hit all your major body parts, right? With 4. So, for example, say Tamika or Angelique, on your 4 times a week, you can hit legs twice. I know most ladies care about the legs. Say you hit legs Monday and Thursday. You do 2 days on, Monday, Tuesday, rest Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, however you want to do it. And then the other days just hit upper body, right? Shoulders, again, if you develop your shoulders, I'm not talking like a dude, you'll help your waist look slimmer. Your back, you want to wear those backlit dresses, right? You need your back looking all cute and everything. So, yeah. You can easily do that. Can easily have a good split with 4 days a week. Let's see. Going down. Yeah, and then we touched a bunch. Well, actually, I have a whole bunch of new comments now. This is what happens when you're scrolling back, catching the old stuff. You're losing all the new stuff. But there's no way getting around that. No way getting around that. Let's see. Yep, the dance. Yeah. The funniest stuff is in the gym. This is true. This is true. You see some. Yeah, you see some funny stuff. I'm not sure if you guys see these little shorts. I think they were on Instagram about was it Planet Fitness? Those things are hilarious, and they go to that music. I think it's a George Michael song. Those are hilarious. Yeah, the YMCA is very family oriented. That is true. Hey, welcome to the show, B. Paul. I didn't realize you were here. I started charting my meals on the app since you told me. It's very helpful. Can you speak on intermittent fasting? Yes, I can. I should do a show on intermittent. Actually, I did do a show around the holidays on intermittent fasting. But in a nutshell, let me start with a good tip. The biggest thing I see when people do it wrong, right, is they end up eating less food. Intermittent fasting, you're supposed to condense the same amount of food, that is the same, not less, not more, the same amount of food into a shorter window, all right? Because you're trying to get certain benefits of fasting and other things. So let's say you ate between, say, 12 and 12. Well, no, let's not do 12. Let's say 8 p.m. Yeah. So 10 a.m. to say, no, let's go to 6 p.m. Yeah, so 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? You're eating in this window. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And you're not going to eat after the dinner at 6 until 10 a.m. the next day to breakfast, right? Where people mess up is they're already not eating enough food. They're probably maybe they skip breakfast or what have you. And then they eat even less because they're not used to squishing all their meals. They're not used to eating every 2 hours, right? Every 3 hours to have everything in that window. So you have to really be on top of it. You obviously can't miss meals then, right? You start too late. You didn't eat at 10, you ate at 12. And then, you're busy. And next thing you know, you eat at 4 and you're not that hungry at 6. You eat a little bit. So now all of a sudden, say you're eating 1,800 calories before, now you're eating 1,400. the scale starts going on because you're eating less, so you're all happy, but eventually you're going to pay a price because based on your activity level, you probably are working out. Now you're eating not enough to back to the overtraining or undernourishment. Long term, it's not good. It's not good. So that's the main thing I want to say about intermittent fasting, B. Pauly, is that the typical way people screw it up is they don't eat the same amount of foods. They use it as essentially dieting. It's an excuse to diet. Sometimes I do intermittent fasting, but it's more accidental, to be honest. I just get busy in the morning, or I don't wake up with a great super duper breakfast appetite, so I'll eat breakfast late. But I still eat my 2,800 to 3,000 calories in a day, right? I still get my food in. I can, at this point in time, I can easily eat every 2 hours. It's not a problem for me. I can easily digest a good amount of food every 2 hours, and I don't feel bloated. Obviously, I'm not getting fat, so it definitely works. Yeah, that is a thing to do. But yeah, I'm curious to know, if you call in again, B. Pauly, what surprised you about tracking meals? Is either you were eating more than you thought or less than you thought? I'm guessing less, like less protein, I'm guessing. Maybe just less total calories. It wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. So Gail at night says, my thighs love each other too much. I'm probably missing the reference to that. Let's see. Tamika says, I guess coach isn't going to answer the question on fat adaptation. LOL, I have work tomorrow. I think I did. Hopefully I got to it by the time you got off, Tamika, the fat adaptation thing. Yeah, if there was a question in the chat, I did not see that. But I did. Needs Watches ask the question. So hopefully, thanks again to Needs Watches for watching my chat for me. I got to get better at that. It reminds me when I interviewed Matt. You can tell he's been interviewed so many times. The dude is a professional. He's a celebrity trainer. He was watching the chat closer than me. So clearly, I need to watch the chat more often while I talk to people. But I'm so conditioned to be polite and focused on who I'm talking to, not be looking away. I feel like I'm being rude or something. But I see other people like lead attorney. He's listening, but he's clearly looking somewhere else. I need to start doing that because I'm thinking I guess people won't feel offended if I do that. Oh, Need says, where I live, you get pulled over if you face traffic on a bike. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So when I was doing this is when I was in Texas, going on the long rides rather for triathlons. Interesting. Okay. I'm surprised they do that because, yeah, when bicycle people get hit, they usually never saw it coming. You know, so that's interesting. Let's see. The fat adaptation thing. So I know I touched on that during Needs Watch's comment. So hopefully it's clear with the fat adaptation. Basically, on keto, just in case it wasn't clear, you're running on fat instead of carbs, right? So it's good for weight loss, but a lot of that weight you lose initially. Remember, I did a show on this keto, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then I cut it up into some smaller things: keto good, and I think keto the bad. So initially you lose a bunch of weight, but it's all water weight, right? And the studies are pretty clear on this. It is not statistically better than the others, right? It is not. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention this before. One of the clients I had, the only client I've had so far who wanted to gain weight was a guy who's already in good shape, and he was doing keto. When we transitioned him slowly from keto to more bodybuilding side diet, the dude lost weight. He lost weight. He was trying to put on weight. He lost it, and he got stronger in the gym. Show me a power lifter or bodybuilder who is fat adapted and lifting heavy ass weight. Oop. Show me somebody in the 100-meter finals at the Olympics that's fat adapted, winning the gold medal. It's not happening. Not happening at all. Not happening at all. Right? Not happening at all. Okay, so Gail is more clear now. My thighs love each other. They stick together as rubbing. Now I got you, Gail. Now I got you. Okay. So B. Paul answers my question. I was eating more carbs, not enough protein. Yep, agreed. So generally you want 1 gram per pound of body weight. That's the gold standard. You can go up to like say 1.2, maybe 1.3 grams per pound. especially when you're dieting hard to help with satiety and to make sure you're getting enough calories. But yeah, you remember when we spoke, B. Pauly, I said most likely, just like everybody else, you weren't getting enough protein. Now, don't go from whatever you are to just the 1 gram overnight. Slowly work your way up there. But it's good that you're doing it, because you see, this is what you start to find out. When you don't track your meals, you don't know what you don't know. I use this example all the time. You're in a car, you're driving from point A to point B. You have no speedometer, no GPS, no gas gauge. What are the odds of you getting there? It is much better if you have all these things, right? So you got to track. Otherwise, you're just guessing. Just guessing. Yeah, I don't think Tamika's questing thought it was the best ways to come. I think she wanted to know what it was. But if you're trying to, the best way would go keto. But again, back to weight loss, statistically, it was not shown to be any better than any other diet, right? And to me, it's definitely difficult to follow. You got to go through the whole keto flu, all these other things potentially. You remember, you could have the Brett, you could have the this, you could have the that. I like simple and easy. I eat veggies, I eat meat, I eat carbs. I'm not a big fan of excluding any one thing. I eat everything, right? I eat everything. It's easy. B. Pauly with the big insight. I told you, man. Yep. Oh, yeah. A lot of hidden calories in those liquids and sauces. I told you. Sauces will do you in, man. Those salad dressings, man. Some of those salad dressings can convert a salad at a fast food restaurant to be worse than the biggest super duper meal. The Whopper, the double, quadruple Whopper, whatever it is nowadays. Salad dressing can do a number on you. You have to track all these little liquids and sauces, right? You'd be surprised, because usually with these liquids and sauces, you're just slathering on there, and you're thinking, and you look at the serving size, like 1 teaspoon or something, and you take 1 teaspoon, you're like, damn, that's nothing. Yeah. The good news is, B. Pauly, when you cut back on that stuff, you can, well, you're already pretty slim, so I'm pretty sure you're not trying to shrink. You're probably trying to put on muscle. But yeah, it's wasted calories, right? You put on this little sauce that a gazillion grams of calories. You better you gotta have something that you truly love, right? Yet you truly, truly love. Don't just blow those calories on sauce that tastes okay. Sika Meat is the carbonated waters and tea packs made me happy. Yep. I remember I was doing those carbonated waters. That's another thing, you can do to get that fizz. You say you're trying to switch from soda and you like the fizz, that's what you used to eat. The carbonated drinks are pretty good, Get some Perrier, sparkling water, or whatever, you can do that. You can do that. Definitely better than the sodas. A lot better than the soda. Actually, especially with just water. You can even add, like, say, a lemon or lime, give it some kind of flavor or something like that. So, yep, I just talked about this. Sparkling water is clutch. I agree. Sparkling water, yeah, I never used to like it, but once I got into it, I was like, yeah, it feels like I'm having something nice. Like, I don't know how to describe it. That's probably what Needs is talking about. It just feels like you're having something tasty. Except it's zero of everything. And it's not a gimmick. It's not 0 calories as a gimmick. You're not going to put other crap in there. It's not 0 sugar because they put other crap in there. It really is 0 everything. It's water at the end of the day. Of course, you want the one that doesn't have anything in it. So, yeah, Jamaican ginger beer is good. Shout out for Jamaican ginger beer. I like Jamaican ginger beer as well. The key thing is, if you're tracking like B. Pauly, you can have what you want, Gail. So, you talk about your thighs loving each other or whatever. If you're trying to shed a couple pounds, start tracking those calories, man. You got to start tracking. So, for example, some people think it's restrictive, it's liberating. So let's use your ginger beer example, right? Say you love ginger beer. You want to have a ginger beer. If you know how many carbs you're getting for that day, right, you can fit the ginger beer in. Maybe you just have to cut back on a little rice or a little bit of this or that. And from a macronutrient point of view, you can drink your ginger beer, right? You can have your cake and eat it too from that perspective, right? You gotta pick a struggle. It's a matter of how much do you want this ginger beer versus some other things. I give you the example of my cherries and ice cream cakes. Cannot do both. I gotta pick. I do my coffee black. I'm not wasting my sugar on coffee. I may put sugar in my tea because it actually tastes great to me with sugar. The sugar makes coffee taste better, but I'm like, yeah, I just drink the damn thing black and be done with it, right? It's like brushing my teeth. I'm not drinking it for pleasure. I don't brush my teeth for pleasure. It's something I gotta do. So I just drink it black. I'd rather save my calories for something that truly, truly will give me enjoyment. Almost every time I use sugar in coffee, I regret it. I'm like, God damn it, wasting the sugar. I should have put it in my tea, right? I feel like I'm wasting it. I'm wasting it. B. Paulie says, hey, Kirk, have you done a show on how pH in water affects your body? I asked because I drink a lot of wine. Well, I used to do a lot of that alkaline water thing, but the studies, I've not done a show on it, but maybe I should because I switched just back to regular water because that stuff is not, it's kind of overhyped. And ironically, why I had stopped was I realized they're spending so much damn money on water at Whole Foods, right? I forget the one I was buying. It tasted so good, but yeah, that stuff can be misleading with the whole pH balance thing, right? You could be doing too much. But that's a good idea. I should do something on that. Because, yeah, some of the sciences kind of changed that, to be honest. But I don't bother with it. I just drink regular water now. Maybe it's because when I was fat, I felt like it was good. But as I got fit and leaner, I don't know. I just didn't like it as much. Plus, the last time I looked into it, yeah, the science wasn't definitive one way or the other. But that's a good show idea. I'm going to make a mental note of that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Needs watch sparkling. Speaking of tea, try out a tea from a company called the London Tea Merchant. Okay. I'll do that. Fennel tea is great with digestion. It is pretty good. Dandelion tea is also a mild diuretic. Can help with water weight. Or getting rid of some water weight. That can help there as that. Green tea is fantastic for so many things. Anti-cancer, anti-this, anti-that, blah, 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 blah. Personally, I don't like how it tastes, so I got to have other tea bags in there to mask it. Ginger is fantastic. Ginger is super duper good, right? Ginger is pretty good. B. Paulie says, yeah, it's trended the last few years. I often test the pH myself from faucet to bottled water. Yeah, I have one of those home water filtration systems, and I got the thing just for the potable water. What's it called again? Reverse osmosis. So I do have that. So I'm not actually sure what the pH of that water is, to be honest. But you're right, it is pretty trendy. But the water RAM is not the greatest. That's why I wanted the water filtration system. Because I have a filter in my shower, and that I need to change that regularly. I should probably do a show on water. Because the water is, you can have so much crazy things going in there. And maybe the air purifier. I told you guys about the IQ Air before. Bang for your buck, the best thing you can do to purify your environment, let's say. Yeah, I do peppermint tea as well. Yes, I do this too. I mix peppermint tea and green tea. Yeah, because the green tea is way too potent for me, man. I'm a wimp when it comes to that green tea. I use peppermint, ginger, fennel. Yeah, I'll do anything to try to minimize the taste of green tea. Some people love it. I'm not one of those people. But yeah, teas can be pretty good. Of course, I'm not talking the magical weight loss teas, right? See some of these YouTube channels, somebody puts out some video, their before and after picture on some stupid tea. And then several months later, they're doing it again, but with a different tea or a different diet or something. I'm like, how do these people keep every 4 to 6 months, they're transforming, and then they do it again and again. I guess they're counting on new views, and you'll see these spikes in their channel. Their regular views will be a couple hundred, couple thousand, and then these tea videos are like 50,000, 100,000, or whatever. And I guess they have to wait several months, and then they pop one off again. Yeah, to say in good conscience can't go down that route. Cannot go down that route. So I'm going to drop the call-in link one more time in case anybody else wants to call in. Yeah, this was a pretty good show. It was very, because I kept being wondering, am I missing something, man? But as I went through the show tonight, I'm like, yeah, I'm not missing anything. Some of what this person's saying just doesn't make any sense. Just does not make any sense. It's not holding up at all. You know what I mean? It's just not, it's not holding up. Not holding up. So this isn't cutting off the link. Nope, it looks proper now. All right, perfect. Yes, exactly, B. Pauly. Exactly. This nonsense. I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 10 days with this tea. You know, I should do a video on this. To look at all these other little video clips out there, that'd be hilarious, because it's like they talk about, you know, taking 2 tablespoons. Then they were like, no, you don't have to take 2. You can just use 1 tablespoon of said magical elixir or potion to, you know, fix your heart, your this, and lose fat just as a side benefit, right? Yeah. These people are really, they're not the best. I mean, they know how susceptible people can be to these gimmicky things, and they just prey on that, man. They just prey on that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Because those videos get millions of views. Millions of views. I was like, wow. Yeah, you put some nonsense like that, people either click it to prove it's wrong, or most time they click it to believe. They want to believe. They want to believe. You see the videos, twirl your arms and lose arm fat. Well, I don't have any arm fat there, but let's pretend I did. You know, lose arm fat in 10 days or 2 weeks. Or they try to target the ladies. Lose your fupa in 2 weeks or a month or whatever the nonsense is. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. You didn't get fat overnight. You cannot get back to awesome overnight either. Plus, you're older. You're older too. You got to factor that in, right? You got to be realistic. When you're realistic, you'll not less likely to beat yourself up. You're more likely to be committed. You'll appreciate. I told you guys to have a gratitude journal. You'll appreciate what you're doing. You know, Needs watches lost 6 pounds. A couple of weeks ago, now he was 6 pounds heavier. Now he's 6 pounds down. He's happy. He feels better. He's more active. Blah 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 blah. Right? I'm sure a couple months from now he'll feel better than he feels today. So, you know, slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. All right. We had an awesome show tonight. We just hit 2 hours. Fantastic show. Yeah, it was nonstop action. I think these are the most, for sure, there's the most amount of different people that have popped in at any one time that I can remember. Several new people. Hope you guys had a great time and you come back. See you guys mañana. Not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. Got to figure that out. But we'll definitely do a show Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Same bat time, same bat channel. So have a wonderful night, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself some good rest. Sleep is important. Remember that. Sleep is important. Good night. Laters, my massive. For those who don't speak Jamaican patois, that is goodbye, man.